Isolation Protocol Day 75, Saturday, May 30th, I think. Uh, yeah, I missed a couple of days because on Thursday I had to run out to my sister's again and to try to fix her sewing machine. Didn't get a chance to do that, but that was followed by a doctor's appointment because my left knee has been absolutely killing me. It is so painful. I can't even walk. I kind of stumble and scooch. I have chairs placed in odd places throughout my house, so I can basically just scoot from chair to chair to get around. So I went over to my sister's, took her out to lunch after I decided that I just was not up to um, working on her sewing machine. It's going to probably need to be taken apart and the timing chain fixed or something. So, um, yeah, we'll have to figure that out. The bobbin is spinning a little bit ahead of the needle going down, so it is just tying knots in the thread and making a big mess. And since my other sister, who lives with her, has been making masks for all of the people in the building that she manages a um, subsidized housing for seniors and disabled people. So she thinks that, they're all high risk. She wanted to make sure they all had at least one mask so that they could be wearing one plus another in case the one that they're wearing needs to be washed. So she's been making masks like crazy for the last 6 weeks or so. And the last couple of days, the sewing machine has just been totally out of whack. I think it's probably because she carries it with her to work and back, and she'll sometimes, on her downtime at work, she will sew. You really can't jostle a sewing machine around that much. Anyhow, so I went to the doctor's after several phone appointments and lots of texting back and forth. They said, well, they needed to see how bad the pain was. It's like, it's bad. How can you see how bad someone is in pain? But yeah, the doctor, not my regular doctor, but another doctor in the clinic, was checked out my knee. And on the way to driving to the doctor's appointment, I had to hit the brakes real fast because somebody merged across 3 lanes on the freeway and cut in front of me. They were going about 35 miles an hour, and I was going about 60. So yeah, slammed on the brakes, and my right knee went snap, and I barely made it over to the shoulder and kind of scooted my way across the bridge, which has no shoulder, but I was going really slow. Off the off ramp and called my daughter from the bottom of the off ramp. Said, "Help! You need to drive me to the doctor's. I can't drive." Well, she lived just a couple blocks away, so I managed to make it to her house and park right in front, or well, across the street. And I just sat in my car until she could drive her truck up to pick me up and take me to the doctor's. So anyhow, the doctor said that there's really nothing more that they can do. Uh, Called in another doctor. He said the same thing. And then they both said, well, if you lost weight, it would probably go away. It's like arthritis doesn't go away, first of all. Second of all, yeah, it might not be quite as painful, but I could barely walk when I only weighed 130. So and that was when I was 20. I've had arthritis since I was a kid. This is not going to go away if I lose a little weight. And I have been counting every calorie going in me. My daughter has been bringing me candy and stuff, and when I eat a piece of candy, I deduct it from my food allowance for the day, calorie wise, and I know I make fun of how much junk food and stuff I eat, but I really don't. I have been eating less than 1,000 calories a day for since about November and have not lost an ounce. So, losing weight, what am I going to do? Just fast until the weight comes off? I don't know. Anyhow, I've already talked to a nutritionist. They gave me a diet and they wanted me to follow it exactly. I followed it exactly. They said because of how little you've been eating, you may gain weight at first. And 3 months later, I was 40 pounds heavier and still gaining. I said, this isn't going to work. Uh, I did manage to lose that 40 pounds and an additional 10, so I'm down 50 from my highest point. But since then, I have not been able to lose an ounce. It's really, really disheartening. So when I got home, I just could not bring myself to make a video because I couldn't stop crying, mainly because of the pain, and they won't do anything about the pain. Take Tylenol. That's it. Take Tylenol. I've been taking Tylenol. Doesn't help. Uh, so I ate the entire bag of candy. No, actually, it was the little snack size ones. I had a packet of Skittles left, which I just ate. I found it in the bottom of the bag as I was getting ready to throw it in the garbage. So, um, and then yesterday, again, I was in so much pain. Just getting out and doing something is exhausting, and my skin hurt. Every inch of my skin was hurt, just hurt yesterday, all the way down to the bone. Uh, just, just even the dog leaning against me or licking my knee, which the dogs like to lick my knee. I think they think it might make me feel better. I don't know, whatever. But they know that when I'm in pain, they'll come up and they'll start licking my knees. And even that just was sending shooting pains through me. So I couldn't do anything yesterday. So today, being day 75, I figured I got to do something. So since I missed the last reading, I decided I'm going to do a reading today. This is a scene that I had cut and then decided to put back in, and I keep putting it in and out, so it may or may not end up in the finished book, but I think it's kind of a cute scene. Um, right before this, there had been an announcement the day before, right before school got out. There was an announcement that there was going to be a school-wide talent show, and Reese had wondered, in a school that small, how many people would actually uh, sign up for the talent show. Uh, Also, she has gotten in with the what she calls the geek gang, and is becoming friends with Mitchell, who is in the drama club and a lot of other stuff like that, is in drama classes, an improv class with Reese, which she hates because she has to get up in front of people and do stuff. And she's very, very um, shy. She does not want to be seen. So anyhow, this is um, after she's made friends with Mitchell and they've learned about the talent show. So here we are at her first period PE class. Reese didn't have to wonder long. The talent show to benefit the arts program and theater improvements was the talk of her PE class the next morning. The teacher gave up trying to teach the girls how to do the high jump. Not one person was listening. Instead, she brought everyone together on the bleachers to discuss their talents. It seemed everyone knew someone, but nobody actually felt talented enough to get up on stage themselves. Reese just stayed out of the conversation. The only thing she could do was draw. What could she do with that? The boys' track class was having the same problem, and in minutes they had wandered over to the bleachers where the girls were. The boys were not so shy, however. A few of the boys were singing or dancing to the whoops and cheers of the girls. Then Mitchell and another boy started acting out a scene, from memory, of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, one of Reese's favorite comedies. She smiled at how good Mitchell was acting as Beatrice. What are they doing? Shakespeare, you ignorant dragon. Reese recognized the voices and turned around. It was Dale and Apple, well, Albert, but since she learned his middle name, she couldn't call him that anymore. They were sitting very close to her. She quickly explained the play. So Hero wants to marry Claudio and thinks it would be fun if her cousin Beatrice fell in love with Claudio's best friend Benedict. But Beatrice and Benedict always fight. So they decide to trick them both into believing the other was afraid to say that they loved them. There's also a prince and an inept sheriff. Okay, that's a hard thing to say. And the prince's evil brother and a bunch of other characters. Dale whispered in her ear, "How do you know this?" Reese poked him, more to get him out of her personal space than anything. "How can you not know it? I think it's one of his best comedies. It's my favorite." Apple rolled his eyes. "You two bicker like Beatrice and Benedict." So Reese poked him too, except he's the obnoxious Beatrice, and I'm the shy Benedict who just wants to be left alone. Apple and Reese, now that she knew his middle name, she just couldn't call him anything else. Well, I already said that. We have to cut that. Struck a melodramatic pose. Uh, Apple struck a melodramatic pose. "I shall make the one of you fall in love with the other." Reese groaned. "Not even close. The line is, 'I will, in the interim, undertake one of Hercules's labors, which is to bring Signore Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other.'" "And it won't work if we know what you're trying to do, Apple." The two senior boys froze. Dale was the first to break into a smile. "I knew you knew." Sorry, did I say something wrong?" She was looking at the shocked expression on Apple's face. "Well, we usually don't say anything about it unless we're in the club," he whispered. Reese looked around. Everyone was watching Mitchell break into the soliloquy from Hamlet. No one was paying any attention to her or the guys. "Well, I thought everyone knew your middle name was Apple. I mean, Tishka's favorite pastime is shopping, but gossip comes in a close second." "Oh, that." Dale looked disappointed, which puzzled Reese even more. She was trying to get up the nerve to ask him about it when the teachers blew their whistles. Everyone rushed off to the locker rooms. And that's it for today's episode of Isolation Protocol. There we go. Uh, no news about the dogs. I didn't bring a fortune cookie in because my knees just hurt too much to go into the kitchen to go get one. And yeah, there's nothing else much to say. I really haven't done any knitting or crocheting or spinning or any other kind of needlework either. So catch you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.